Things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
We are seeing unprecedented levels of domestic terrorism chatter in the United States right now, so much so that every FBI field office has an investigation into domestic terrorism across the country. The result, there's been a tenfold increase in threats to members of Congress. And as Mary knows, and as you know, these people are changing their votes because of it. They are resigning because of it. It's become exceptionally serious. And it's not just members of Congress, it's also local officials who report a huge increase in threats.
And Miles, how much of this current feeling of fear and fear of political violence and these warnings that you're talking about due to Donald Trump and the Republican Party?
Well, look, in my personal opinion, it's enormous, but don't just take, my word for it. The data shows that this is the case. Before Donald Trump was president, conspiracy theories like QAnon were on the fringes of the American political system. Now, in the wake of his presidency, polls show that 50% of Republicans now believe in the core tenets of QAnon. That's absolutely staggering. Now, what does that have to do with political violence? A lot of these individuals that express these grievances and adopt these conspiracy theories then jump the tracks from violent rhetoric into actual violence, so much so that we are now seeing 1 in 4 Americans say they are more predisposed towards political violence, and 1 in 10 Americans say they would like to see Donald Trump forcibly reinstalled in the White House. This is a blinking red light for democracy. And I'll add one more data point to this, Jonathan, which is 2 researchers came up with a political stress index to show how polarized we are as a country. Their ultimate conclusion, this is the highest level on the political stress index since the American Civil War. We're in a very difficult time, and Donald Trump and the wider MAGA movement have been very actively fanning the flames of political intimidation and violence, so much so that candidates I talked to on the campaign trail, some of them are wearing ballistic vests, bulletproof vests when they go out and campaign. In fact, we just saw a few weeks ago U.S. Senate candidate Evan McMullin in Utah was chased by a man in a truck who pointed a gun at he and his wife. This is what public servants and potential public servants are facing out there on the campaign trail.
This is vile. I mean, it is out of control. And when you look at like Arizona and you see armed, tactical gear wearing, quote, poll watchers out there in the parking lot, and then the Republican Party trying to say they weren't bothering anybody. They're just sitting in between cars. They're not. Why are people so predisposed to believe that they need to sit outside in tactical gear, armed to the teeth, watching a drop box? Why are they photographing people? It's all because of these conspiracy theories. It's because of this stupid Dinesh D'Souza piece of dung, a movie that he made with the help of the Vote people's money. By the way, the the Vote people are in jail today. The judge in Texas had to send them to jail after holding them in contempt. They're on trial right now. Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips. They're on trial in Texas right now. They're the leaders of the Vote. They have spread multiple times, unfounded claims questioning the results of the 2020 election. And they were taken into custody yesterday morning after a federal judge in Texas ruled them in contempt of court because they're being sued for defamation by a company called Connect. An election software company that the Vote said allowed the Chinese government to have access to their server and stole 2 million U.S. Election people's data, and they have said listen, this is just like Dominion and Smartmatic. They all just, their companies have been, literally smeared, almost bloody. By these, conspiracy mongers who are making, grifts out of the lies, right? And so these 2 people, they actually made, one donor to the Vote, one donor, a guy named Fred Eshelman, he gave the Vote $2.5 million. One donor gave $2.5 million based on their lies. Later, he realized he was being duped and he wanted his money back. He actually sued to get his money back, but his money was already gone because they had directed his money to people or businesses connected to Ms. Engelbrecht. And some of the money went to Dinesh D'Souza to help him make 2,000 mules. You can see how this is a merry-go-round of grift, okay? That is what this is. This is all about making money off of lies and conspiracy theories to benefit them. And this is what Donald Trump did too. You know, every penny that Donald Trump raised post-election, $100 million worth, was all, you know, I need it for my my legal, my legal fund or whatever. And he kept all the money. He doesn't even, donate money in tight races. And, people that are running for the Senate or the House, they're like, hey, man, he's sitting on all this money. We gave it to a PAC. He's supposed to help us, and he's not helping us because the guy is, all about himself and nobody else. Well, duh. When did the light bulb go off for you? New Yorkers knew all about him years ago. People in Atlantic City that helped drywall his casinos, that, delivered everything from pianos to floor tile, were all stiffed. I mean, what's wrong with people? I don't understand it. But this entire grift that the Murdochs got going on to keep eyeballs watching with Tucker Carlson and, Sean Hannity's lies and, before that, Bill O'Reilly's crap. I mean, it actually causes people to die, like, Dr. Tiller. After O'Reilly went on a rant, for months, maybe even more than a year, calling Dr. Tiller the baby killer, accusing him of, accusing women of wanting to murder their babies very late in their pregnancies and going to Dr. Tiller, who was willing to murder these babies, instead of a doctor that was willing to perform an abortion on a woman who had no chance, her fetus had no chance of survival, or her baby would be born in ridiculous amounts of pain, and doctors had discussed options with her, and everybody saw that the baby's head didn't develop, or that the organs were in the wrong portion of the body cavity, and whatever, but just, spreading lies about women and spreading lies about doctors to the point where somebody went into his church, and killed him. Literally killed him. And before that, it was Dr. Slepian. These things have a price. And the price of disinformation, misinformation, the price of conspiracy theories is very high. It's very, very, very high. So you might sit there and say, well, why is, a guy like Elon Musk, why was he tweeting out, conspiracy theory? Because people actually like them, especially now. They like them because they're super freaking angry. And why are they so angry? Oh, well, the media has told them they're being replaced. The media has told them there's racism against white people. The media has told them your politicians are pedophiles. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.